Hey guys, good morning. Just checking in a little bit, looking at some stuff. It would appear that yesterday was definitely some sort of oversold bounce across the board. And once you get to certain levels, especially with the financials, which obviously carry a little bit of weight in the S&P 500, once you hit certain levels, you're going to get a bounce on the Qs. We were hitting the 20-day EMA, exponential moving average, so obviously we got a bounce in probably the strongest sector. The problem is we closed yesterday right at my channel, and I should probably send out some of these charts to the email subscribers. And I think these channels are pretty accurate. I've been using them for a while. You can really see how we kind of topped out yesterday right on the nose there. The NASDAQ probably has a little bit, never really got a good correction. Like it really needs to complete this movement to the lower channel. I have a couple channels in there, but they both coincide in pretty much the same area. Depending on the time frame, it's 214, 215, but that never really got a full correction like you see in the XLF. So on a day like today, even though we're pulling back, I wouldn't think it'd be prudent to short the financials just yet. This downward movement, if we break lower, may take a little time. I mean, you already have 7 or 8 consecutive trading days in a wave down. So to chase this lower wouldn't probably be beneficial. A little bit of a bullish engulfing candle, but that could unwind over a few days. I wouldn't expect those to break the lows in one day. In fact, they may trade a little bit sideways inside this candle on the financials, so don't go buying FAZ. News stocks, TTPH is rocketing up to 247 on some type of buyout cash deal. If you run the numbers based on the float, it would put it up around $3.60 a share. The problem is there's probably some restricted shares in there somewhere and some warrants that would affect the cash buyout, which probably values the company somewhere in the $1.70, $1.80, which isn't much higher than where it closed at. And now you have this massive gap up to around 250. So I would not be chasing TTPH. Could even short it, but that's a little bit of a risk too. I would assume they reject the offer, but they're probably bleeding in cash pretty bad, so who knows. But I would not chase this. I don't think the traders understand the valuation based on the buyout conditions. So SPY, you got some support around 282. Where are we at right now? We're right at 282. I sent out the numbers in the newsletter. Once again, on the daily here, we're back testing the line that I drew, which was, we actually have two different lines. There's this lower channel line that I said was more of the one I was concerned about for the head and shoulders pattern break. Once again, we're all looking at the same stuff. So my charts are different. Everybody said their head and shoulders broke here. If that's the case, I consider that more of a momentum line. And you've now physically or officially back tested that line yesterday at the close. So you could start to trail back lower again. But once again, this is not an accurate low candle area. I think we were in the 276s, so somewhere along this line you had some lateral support. So does this just break down and go through there? No. And was this the Fed out buying ETFs with unlimited buying power, leverage, algorithmic instruments? Who knows? They're not going to let the market completely tank. That's the thing. That's why it's very hard to get follow through in this market. You could get a stair-step pattern lower, which I think, if the Fed was controlling the market, which nobody really knows, they may allow this to unwind a little bit gradually, just so people can adjust and not panic the market and cause a complete crash based on the economic fundamental background that we're looking at moving forward here. I just don't think the Qs have unwound enough yet, so I shorted the Qs lightly. Plus, I still have a few longs. You know, I still have some ITCI. I still have some different small positions here and there. I'm trying to be in cash, but it's hard when you're a day trader. You find something and you hold it. APT is one that I did hold over. I was looking for a gap up this morning. We're not getting it. Obviously, the market's a little bit soft here. So I wouldn't chase this. And I don't know. I'm a little bit. I tried to sell a little bit last night here and there. I had a bigger share up there. I think I think I scared people, but I'm not sure that I want to sell this either. This is a tough one. The chart looks fantastic on the daily, you know. But do we pull back down to the 1530s? Probably gets back on into the 1530s, but the numbers look good moving forward. They do the protection equipment, and I think they're a legit company. Obviously, they showed some astounding numbers in their pre-announcement. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they officially announced on the 27th of May. So if we run up into that release date, depending on how the market's acting, I would probably be selling my shares, looking to buy back in. But the chart looks definitely good. Just don't chase this. I mean, that is a great chart. The thing I like about it actually is the MACD there with all that room to the upside, and you have a sharp crossover there on good volume. I mean, 39 cents a share. You extrapolate that out, and I'm not saying things can't be seasonal. You know, going into flu season, they may show a bigger ramp up, and obviously right now things are hot, but you have to replenish that supply over time. 40 cents, you know, $2. You know, you're at single digit PE, and I'm not saying that number can continue at that rate, but even at a 30-cent clip, you know, you're at 10 times earnings. So it's just run up quite a bit here, obviously in the short term, and like I said, we could pull back. So I certainly wouldn't chase that one. Baidu earnings after the close. I don't know, tough call here. This is an interesting chart, though. I will say that. And it looks a lot like the financials, right? We've come back to the initial breakout point. Strong bounce, but well below all of the averages still. Tough call. It could show some resilience intraday. If it pulls back into the 92s, you might see some buying. Upper 92s. But I'll go over some stuff later today. I'll probably be on Twitch later doing some live trading once I kind of feel the market out here. Oil is actually looking bullish here. If we look at, I don't want to look at the leverage ETF, but we look at oil here, we were putting a lot of pressure on the shorter term moving average, the 50-day. I was using a 45, but they're very closely correlated. And now we've broken through there, right? So this wedge tightening and this bull pennant, and I probably should have been long at least some, but I'm trying to stay strictly day trading, and then, you know, we keep gapping up in the morning and I don't chase. I'm almost inclined to do the inverse. But you also have this candle here that was a high top candle on crude, light sweet crude, which was 29.13, and today's high is 29.01. So could we see some type of a reversal today? I think we could. I mean, maybe SCO is a trade today if we pull back a little bit more on SCO, Sam Charlie Oscar, but you'd have to have a tight stop on that. This move looks a little bit extended. We are crossing over positive on the RSI, and we are curling up on the volume expansion. So be careful with that trade if you decide to do that trade. The higher risk reward, to risk might be once we start getting up in the 32 area. So tough call today on that one. But keep an eye on that. It could have a reversal today. Maybe this is a little bit of everybody's looking at the same thing long, and then they snap you back. But like I said, we're turning a little bit positive here. Could we roll over on the MACD? Yeah. Could you get a little bit of more wiggle room to the upside? So yeah, it's a very neutral call here, but I will be watching it. Maybe we'll play a little bit of that. That's it for now, guys. Just be cautious. This market's going to be a little bit volatile today.